Merry Christmas, M. Hello, Patricia. Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas Eve, all. Hello, Rachel. Let's see. It's birthday and Christmas Eve party tonight. Let's see. Rachel, is it your birthday? Do we have some Christmas Eve babies in this crew? Hello, Dr. Connie. Hello, Karen. Yeah. Let's see. United Delta gets even better here. Let's touch on that one. Nope, get the right one. More flights cancellation, upend holiday travel. More than 2,000 Christmas Eve flights are canceled globally amid the spread. A few hundred here in the States already that we know of. Hello, Scooter. Hello, Charlie W. Hello, Mike G from Ohio. Hello, Wendy Fargo from Arkansas. Hello, Cass. Good morning. Hello, Carolyn. Let's do it. Hello, Jaws. Chili Philly, it's good to see you. What can we expect out of our Christmas Eve today since you guys are in the UK? And if we have any of our Aussies in the house, just let us know what to expect since you've already survived it. Hello, Anthony Rodriguez. It's good to see you here. Appreciate you as well. I like that, Noel. Maybe we should be like singing Christmas carols. No, I'm with you, Tony Stormcloud. I was hoping to put $1 million in my wife's stocking for Christmas. She'll have to settle for $1 million dong. I think her dong's going to be worth more than the $1 million. Myrtle, it's good to see you in here. Nancy, I'm glad you like the shirt. It is, you like that breaking and entering circa 1800? That's Santa. He's so civilly disobedient. He's a bad man. Hello, Jack. I'm going to tell you what I've heard on that front in just a few minutes before we get to Mr. C. I'll do news on the fly, although hopefully he has found us. I should ask him that question, right? Or he'll ask me that question. I'm certain he's found her. He would already be screaming at me. Hello, Larry S. It's good to have you here. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Natasha again. Hello, Lisa. Merry Christmas. Hello, Yvette. Merry Christmas. King's Hacienda. How is the crew? Hello, Keith in Woodville, Texas, and Sandy. Hello, Annette. Merry Christmas to this Canuck. Hello, Paul Vogel. Merry Christmas. Hello, Mrs. or is it Mrs. Tony or Mr. Stoney? Right? Hello, Tammy. Merry Christmas. Alice, Merry Christmas. Sharon, Merry Christmas. Patriot Mom, kindness rules me. Let's see. Wow. Birthday is tomorrow, so we get to go ahead and celebrate for kindness rules me as well. Spartanburg, South Carolina, checking in. Hello, Lily. See, Rum Runner checking in. Chris, Sally, Noreen, it's good to see you. Indiana is even in the house. Hello, Rick. Hello, Teak. Concord, North Carolina. Philip Black. Home of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Hello, Leisha Foss. Wake up, David, it's early where you're at. Merry Christmas. Oh, God. Frozen hello from Frostbitten in Calgary, Canada. I can only imagine how cold you guys are. Poor Hannah, it is freezing, 71 degrees in Central Florida, guys. You know, prayers going out for them that they're able to handle this cold wave. Hello, Susanna Cat. Hello, Elaine. All right. Oh, wow. Here we go, guys. Concetta Coin. Merry Christmas, all. The family, today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Concetta. Hopefully I won't miss all of that. Brenda's ready for this to end. I'm ready for this Matt crap to end, too. It's time to get on with life. Hello, Duke Wilbur from Duke and Riley. Riley's a family name around here, so it's a good one. Hello, Chrissy in Southeast South Dakota. Zookeeper. We got Natalie checking in from Frankfurt. Dr. Rich found us, guys. Merry Christmas to you and Tippy, Dr. Rich. Hello, Nolan in rainy Arizona. Hello, Greg. It's good to see you, man. I can't wait for us to go flying. Of course, are planes going to fly us? I still want to fly the planes. I have not heard Wolverine's intel from last night, but somebody just popped in here and shared Holly's on fines and penalties. I am. Let's just go ahead and get to that one. While we don't have announcements yet, guys, I am hearing exceptionally positive things. Well, your hat's not on properly. Let's do this properly. I am hearing exceptionally positive things on fines and penalties with expectations for deliveries to start on Sunday on those. That would be CMKX. That would be prosperity packages. That'd be Bergevin. That would be, I mean, just so many different things. I am hearing very positive feedback. I am hearing that things are still moving forward this year, that we have not been pushed more than a few days after what we thought we were anticipating. I'm praying this is accurate because I want this over too. I'm tired. And so many people out there to help. That is really all I've heard. I've got a number about a 50-50 on my whales that went home for 2 or 3 days. The interesting one here is they did not pay for private flights back and forth. They got them there on the first one. They will return them after they exchange. They have started helping some with food and per diems. But the ones going back and forth for this short, those that wanted to be home for Christmas are doing that on their own dime. Just thought I'd give you the update as I have heard everything at this point. No static at all out of Iraq in the last 24 hours or so. But that's not unexpected. That's all I got. Trying to think of anything else. If it occurs to me, I will share it. That's it though. Plenty of world news. Before I forget, Stacy Z is traveling. A couple of people had reached out to her. Verizon, her phone company, did an update. She lost all of her texts. So if you were waiting a text from her, send her a new one. She may have lost yours. I was supposed to share that part. Hello, Richmond, Indiana. Hello, Kim. It's good to see you. Now it's screaming past. Hello, Moody Pet. And somebody saying same old. They don't like the news. Hello, 107. Hello, Jan V. Let's see. Last minute extra shopping in the UK. The epitome of hell I can imagine. It's good to have you home on this Christmas Eve, Carrie, listening in. And to wherever you are around the world, Merry Christmas. No response, Diamond, for you. Let's see if we can get one, though, while we're waiting for Mr. C. She always enjoys talking to Mr. C. Oh, snap. I forgot to get links over. My goodness, let's get on this one. Let's see. Let's get links set and then bounce over very quickly. Bear with me for just a second, guys, while I get this taken care of. Not a tremendous amount of links today. News cycle is a little bit dry as journalists, writers, propagandists stay home and don't do anything. So let me get these links sent where they need to go. Bam. And then I need to send this one to see if we can sucker Sheila out of a comment. Oh, wait, that's not it. All right. See if we can get Diamond for you a good one. There. Now I'm prepared. Moody Pet, I'm with you. It is all about to go down. We are sitting here at the precipice of a go in my book. Grace to beat me. It's good to see you. Hello, Joseph in Charlotte. Merry Christmas, Joseph. 107, how are things down under, my brother? Adam, no, it's not really. The whales aren't getting any ahead of you. They have just simply already gone through their SKRs. They're not getting paid. I mean, when it goes, we're all getting to the trough at the same time. Melinda, where do you sign up to be notified? Go to dinarrecaps.com, sign up for their email newsletter. Did you just say snap? My son says yes. Yes, I do. Snap. That's a PG way of saying mierda. Let's see. Merry Christmas from Texas, Rosalia. Let's see. Merry Christmas to all of my Telegram group, UK Phoenix Project, and all other groups that I'm admin on. Mr. Trumptastic, Zim Friends, and QComs are the chosen ones. Respect all. Merry Christmas. I like this Merry Christmas thing. All right, let's get busy with it. Why do they have to go anywhere with an SKR? A number of them are taking additional currencies. So once the SKRs are paid, they're going to be able to exchange there as well. I know I'm missing a lot. Let's just hit the news real quickly. Mr. C, if you're there, I'm going to go as quickly as I can. Saigon, Vietnam dong increases unexpectedly against the U.S. dollar. We're still seeing movement, 2%. They're expecting a couple more percent this year. That is in the mainstream fiat world. So if you're invested in the Vietnamese dong, it is going up regardless of reset or not. I wanted to include that one for all the ones out there saying, hey, all of these currencies are just BS. You're going to be sitting on it. You're making money. You're literally making money while you're waiting for it. Bank of Ghana, guys, this is a big one. The Bank of Ghana to start gold purchase program from small scale. Basically, what this article is telling you, that they are aggregating from these small miners to support their currencies. I told you that I am looking for the Central African currencies to skyrocket after this. This is a great point as to how that's happening. Also, as they are aggregating gold to support their dollars, it tells you how close we are to a gold-backed worldwide currency. So I wanted to include that one. It's in there. This one is more of me just continuing to twist the knife in the back of the propagandists and the narrative of the globalists. 95% fully lollipop ship reports an outbreak. 55 passengers and crew members. When it says it's only 95%, that's because 12 and under are not required. So the only 5% are the ones that aren't old enough. Otherwise, you are not allowed on that ship unless you have taken it. Still breaking out. It must not stop the spread. That's all that I can come up with. Of course, more than 2,000 Christmas flights are canceled. We expected this. Gazprom, here's a big one. It says Europe has withdrawn more than 41% of its gas from its underground storage facilities, and we have not hit the worst part of the cold season yet. We are just now entering that time period, and they are down to less than 60% of their storage left. And to answer the question, normally they have not tapped any at this point in the season. All right, emergency update from Adams, Mike Adams. Winter of severe illness and death is coming true. Here are the states that will see the highest death rates. Yeah, I'm not going to dive into this one too much as I would love to, because it will end up getting me in trouble, and I am walking on eggshells right now. U.S. military to roll out spike ferritin nanoparticle. Health Ranger Mike Adams, of course, did this one, a breakdown on it. I love it when he does these because, well, he is far more knowledgeable on the health side than I am. And I was doing my deep dives on research, and here you go. He did it for us, so you can find out what you need to know about the new military spike ferritin nanoparticle lollipop. That's all I wanted to cover on the news side of it before we get to Mr. C. And then I want to ask him some fun questions. Mr. C, if you're out there, we are ready for you. Let's see. Waiting to see if I'm digging for more intel throughout the morning, guys. Ignore me punching at the phone. All right. Now we're ready. Now, Linda, you can sign up. You don't have to sign up another one. You can use your existing profile and go to Trolling News and catch it on the YouTube side instead. There is the illustrious Mr. Cottrell. Good morning, Mr. C. I'm glad you found us.
Good morning, Mark. Yeah, they're giving me troubles, but I found you.
Good. Yeah, I didn't even when I gave you the change to the backup channel, the trolling news. I guess on October 8th, when you and I were talking, we must have mentioned something about that November date that was questionable, and they took us down for misinformation about the big lie, is what they claim, or talking about it. We're not allowed to talk about it.
Well, I tell you what, based upon the numbers that I've seen for the last couple of weeks when we have our conversations, I think they're scared silly of any more information coming out of me.
No, I'm not. Yeah,
I'm going to rip them a new bottom.
Have fun with them. Hey,
Absolutely.
if you guys don't see me for until next Thursday, it's because we talk too much.
You got it. Before we go down in rabbit holes, I'd like to say thank you to Elodie or Annie Mac 4 and Lyman.
Yeah, Elodie is fantastic.
Fantastic, right? I enjoy her comments. Really, really great. Also, many others who have sent letters and postcards and Christmas cards, etc., wishing us a good Merry Christmas, Happy Merry Christmas, and gifts. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you. Also, on a sadder note, one of the guys on our team lost his wife this past week, RG, and we really feel bad for him. And they were married, I believe, 57 years. So
wow,
it was kind of tough. But it's something that had this occurred sooner, we probably could have gone into a med bed, but that did not occur. So our thoughts and prayers are with RG. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's always a tough one. They're wanting me to start off, of course, with questions referencing Saint Germain and then the Rodriguez Trust. If you are familiar with Rodriguez or have anything to add on Saint Germain.
Well, the Saint Germain is tied to the RV, and that comes from the Interpol guys who set this thing up. So when I put the codes in, the Saint Germain will also open up at the same time.
Now,
I don't know anything about the other trust.
Now, what is that part of what's going to projects, maybe Zim on the Germain? Where does that lump of money go? In other words, your lump of money goes to refund the U.S. dollars. I understand it, if I'm correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so guys, what we're saying that is Mr. C's dollars that is coming his way are directed to refunding the U.S. dollar, so that there's liquidity. He has to have a pool so you can make transactions, all that good stuff.
Let me interject here for a moment. Refunding the dollar was an old system, an old process that we tried to do with the Queen, the $6.2 trillion loan. We no longer can refund the dollar. We are actually going to replace the dollar with a new Treasury note that is gold-backed by the bullion that I am releasing with the codes. So I'm sorry about that, but that's kind of a big thing. Sorry. Oh, I lost you.
No. I'm still here. No, we're listening. No, I'm all about you. Giving us more details on that one. So where does Saint Germain go? I mean, what's it earmarked for?
That hasn't really changed from what I know, is that it's still based upon humanitarian projects around the world. Whether that deals with projects that you mentioned about the Zim, I have no idea. Since the Saint Germain was set up long before the Zim question came about, I rather doubt that it is tied specifically to the Zim.
I'm just wondering if that's how they've decided, since more time's gone on, more interest's been earned. They're like, wait, we can use Zim as a vehicle to tap more of it. That's what I've just in my head. I'm like, okay, where do these humanitarian funds come from for all these projects? And that's, I don't know, that's all I could come up with.
It could be that I know that there are different, what we call barrels of gold in funds around the world that various other people are going to be involved in charge of. They could have already interfaced them with the Saint Germain. I do not know. I've tried to stay away from that because it's a complicated situation where you have people saying, well, I know this and I know that, and you don't know anything. And so I just said, okay, fine. I only know what I was told by Interpol guys, and that's it. Other than that, it's their bailiwick. They can do what they wish. But I know that there are projects to clean up the atmosphere, to clean up the water, to help clean up the land, and other items. So that's all I really know.
Yeah, it's yeah. I always get a kick out of those folks that think they know absolutely everything. I don't. I'm still learning. So, Mr. C, is the new dollar backed by gold only? Is it also backed by silver? Any other metals in there, or is it just straight gold and gold only?
The gold treaty specifies specifically that it will be gold backed. Period. End of story. Now, whether that gold also has in it other precious metals, I do not know. If you look at QFS, it talks about silver, but the emphasis on the gold treaty was it'll be backed by the gold bullion that'll be released when I put the codes in. Period. End of story.
There is, and Terrell, you're not the only one. So many have heard, and I don't know if this is or when they might do this, but Terrell is saying I've heard through the Saint Germain, and there's a lot of stuff out there on the net that everybody's going to get like $100,000 a year for life out of it. And I don't know how that's going to work until we have all kinds of new technology for goods and food and whatever. But hey, what's your thought now? Now remember, it's Christmas Eve, so I don't want you getting anybody suicidal, Mr. C.
Well, we've already seen the impact of the government paying us all kinds of money not to work. Do you think $100,000 a year is going to get people incentive to work? Which means we're all going to die because there's no food, there's no water. I mean, it does not make sense to me and that also is contrary to the main principles that the Golden Dragon had set up, which were based upon Sun Yat-sen's principles for independence and self-value. So I just don't see that being realistic.
I don't see it being realistic yet. I have no doubt as technology moves forward, AI moves forward, that we can get to a point of that. I hate to use that, the democratic socialist view of the world or the Star Trek world, but I don't think we're there yet.
I see the question here by Wally Frank. The point is this. The bank no longer is in charge of transferring funds. You are. When QFS comes in, you're giving a specific code I'll just say a code that allows you on your phone or on your computer or any other instrument that you want to use to contact QFS/bank to transfer funds. It's based upon your commands, not the bank, and it's immediate, instantaneous. So the bank is not transferring anything. They're not in charge.
Yeah, that's it's going to be instant. You don't have to go to the bank. I'm very excited about the new world. Breaking news: Biden just announced he's going to lift the travel ban between the U.S. and South Africa at midnight on the 31st. Just in case you were curious.
Well, I don't think he has much of a choice because it's a farce to have this clampdown on a cold, quote unquote, and not something that's going to kill you. This is a complete farcical comedy.
It is something. Let me see if I can actually find that one. I mean, when you look at they literally last 2 or 3 days, stuffy nose, congestion, your body sore, and fatigue in the last 2 or 3 days. I mean, they could not do a better job describing just that. I mean, these are the top 5 symptoms. I'm going to put them up now, Mr. C. I don't know if you can, of course, we're on a delay, so you'll see them in a few seconds. Okay. Runny nose, headache, fatigue, sneezing, and sore throat.
Well, that's my sinus problem, so that's crazy.
Right? I just thought I thought that, hey, there's your top 5.
I don't know. I think their Emperor Has No Clothes game is just about up. And I think that this thing is now coming to a close, which reminds me, I have heard just recently that the emphasis around the world basically is, by the militaries, that they're looking not too long after Boxer Day. begin this mess, to begin the cleanup. Now, whether that's actual fact, I have no idea. So I do not know. I'm not prognosticating any effective date. I'm just saying that's what I've been hearing, and it's logical to me. But I have found over the past 32 years that I hear a lot of people say a lot of things are going to happen, when they're going to happen, and yet nothing has occurred. So I wait. I'm like a Missourian. You show me what you've done, and then I'll believe it. Until that time, I consider it BS. Sorry.
I definitely believe the goal is right now, guys. I have no doubt that the goal is right now because everything is coming unglued around them. The question is whether or not they actually execute. I am hearing Mr. C starting last night. I started getting just lit up with expectations of fines, penalties, and those starting Sunday, Monday area of this week. Of this coming weekend or into early next week. So I'm hopeful that they're going to come beat on your door and give us a.
That would make sense to me, man. It really would, because we would always talked about a Sunday.
Yeah, it would make perfect sense. If you guys aren't, how did Mr. Mayhew put it? You'll go to bed on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, wake up to a whole new world the next day.
Yep, because the banks around the world shut down on Saturday night for at least an hour. And then as they roll it through, and then when they open up, they were supposed to have been under the new system.
Right. I do like this one. MS said, hey, you get extra points for using the word farcical.
What can I say? I've been, I always reread my thesis when I'm making copies of it. Plus, I'm doing a lot of more research. I'm actually started to outline the next chapter of the book, so I'm getting back into it. So thank you very much.
I like it. Have you ever seen or felt the RV being this close? I mean, are you getting that feeling that the perfect storm has been set up?
The last time was 2013, when we thought that with the gold treaty being signed on the 21st of March, and in August the Moscow agreement being signed, we thought we were there, but unfortunately it hadn't happened. So. Other than that, again, it's like it builds up to a crescendo and then all of a sudden it dissipates, and I have no idea. So I really don't like being on that roller coaster. I really don't.
Yeah, it's a dangerous roller coaster because of the ups and downs. I do know we're close. At the same time, I can't live on the day-to-day. It'll kill you. Denise, I live in the show me state, so show me. I like that one. 2013, I mean, literally the plane was on the tarmac and had to turn around because we were launching. We were there. I mean,
that's right. They were supposed to show it. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Plane was on the tarmac. They had tried to convince the trustees to pull the trigger and the Dragon that Mr. C had been paid. They literally told them that he had. And if it hadn't been for a phone call to somebody key in this one, nobody's come to see him yet. And then they pulled the plug on it quickly. The powers that be in the U.S. tried to literally bullshit their way into releasing those funds so they could abscond with them. It was a near miss.
And the guy who worked for the Golden Dragon was very, very, very angry.
Very, very angry.
He was really livid because they lied to him. He was very upset. But anyway.
Somebody's saying, hey, I don't have other money, but I've got U.S. dollars. They're going to be, you'll be able to exchange those for what we're calling the new rainbow currency. That's going to be 1-to-1, no problem, real easy. How quickly do you think they're going to do that, Mr. C?
Well, I was told it's instantaneous. As soon as they're already keyed up and ready to roll. So as soon as I put the codes in, it rolls immediately. I mean, immediately. Just a push of the button. And then at the same time, derivatives are wiped off the boards across the world. And debt jubilee is brought right in. It's like 1, 2, 3, done. That's it.
And just trading them out is just logistics over the course of a month or so. I'm told that they will be delivering via just the normal armored cars to the big box stores the evening before the release. When they do where they bring them their cash and their change, they will be unloading the new rainbow currency so that they are immediately in circulation. So at the first day, it's not like, oh my God, have you seen a new one of these? It is going to be so prevalent that it is going to be overpowering, including emergency broadcast system, informational ads, all the news stations talking about the change in currency.
I agree.
Big Christmas plans. You guys have big Christmas plans up there? Is Mrs. C, anything big going on in your world or your household for this one?
Well, we've been baking cookies. Pretty good. It's not good for the waistline, but it's good. It's a nice smell. Well, actually, for the first time in 39 years, we're well prepared for Christmas, which is amazing. Gifts are all wrapped, and we have our immediate family's coming in tomorrow, and we're going to have a small celebration, but that's about it. We're not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything except working.
Oh, there you go. That's a Christmas to still be alive and still be able to work, I guess.
Really?
Nora, are you actually Donald Trump? Are you? Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you 100% he's definitely not. All right. I'm supposed to ask you about the CMKX packs at one point that were in holding, getting ready to release. Al Hodges had made a statement. I think that was actually 2013. I think this was the exact same time as that near launch. But somebody was just asking because Al was convinced it was a go. And I think that was exactly that incident.
I believe so. And Al was convinced that it was going to go down and was very disappointed when it did not. But those packages like the PIFs or FIPs, fines, interest, and penalties, they'll come out after I put they'll actually be exchanged after I get the codes put in. And that'll be almost an instantaneous situation too.
All right, here's a tough one. Actually, I like this one that Gary Gray asked. So money from back taxes, if they're going to give us money back from our federal taxes that we've paid, would it go into a new QFS account? Would it go into our regular banking? Or do our regular bank accounts switch over to QFS accounts? How does that work? Any thoughts?
The QFS is an overall system. You're going to probably keep the same account numbers. I mean, I don't see that's a logistical nightmare if they try to change the numbers. But I don't see that being a problem. Your account will be exchanged for gold-backed currency immediately, and the funds that will be coming into you will be gold-backed and go right into your account. There's not going to be a separate account somewhere, because think about the logistics. They're doing this around the world. Why would they do this? To make the work harder for them. That's crazy. The simplest fact is you have an account, they put the money into it, it's gold back. Boom, boom, done.
No, I'm with you on that one. I just sometimes it's better to hear it from somebody else.
Well, again, I'm not the expert, but I just know that I've been in the financial business since 1984. I just can't see them creating more of a problem inside the system than what they need to. And basically, it's just you got an account. Here's more money that you're owed because of the fraud, and go away. I mean, just have fun.
I texted Sheila right before this, and I just wanted Diamond for you to ask me to. She said no news as of yet, but still optimistic, and then said Merry Christmas Eve to you and your lovely family and you guys. So that is your update from Sheila. No news yet. I was hoping she had heard something on package deliveries as well.
I don't know. She's been burned many times, and I'm quite sure she's
gun shy
about being. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Gina, just want to know if we're gifted currency. I'm told you're going to be able to share the numbers or secure links for them to set up their own appointments. Yeah, I'm trying to look at. Did you see any other fantastic ones? Oh, were you surprised with some of the things we learned during the Epstein trial this past week that he was Iranian spy and her father, of course, we already knew, just Ghislaine Maxwell, was Israeli intelligence. So basically they were working for and collecting information and dirt for a number of different intelligence services. This came out in the trial and is absolutely missing from mainstream media. What do you think? I mean, literally came out in the transcripts. You can read them.
Well, I wasn't following the case, but I do know from personal experience in 2005 when they killed all my computers many times, and I dug into the software, and I found that that Microsoft had delegated all the software systems. Like if your system crashed, you got your replacement disk, they were all coming out of Israel. And and they had every kind of communication system possible loaded up in those disks. So if you loaded up and you reloaded your Windows, they could come at you from 1,000 different ways to connect to what you got, plus the kitchen sink drains that are numerous in everything in Microsoft, and it's just one big draining factor. And they can take anything out of you that they want at any time, whether you're online or not. So but that's when I found out that it was just really one big scam, and I decided that I was going to play a different game, and I went to laptops, and they still killed off my hard drives.
I'm actually
not following that case very well.
I'm actually weathering a attack as we speak right now. I don't think they want us talking. Screens coming in, moving over, firewall screaming as they attempt. Oh well. I've gotten much better at the security side.
They're scared silly because I'm opening up a lot of can of worms, a lot of them. And I'll tell you, quite frankly, the portion of the book that I'm dealing with right now is the fraud committed and also attempted extortion by Cheney and his group, as with Hadley and etc., his staff, in trying to steal with his best friend, Vernon Brock, $10 billion that was due to the Delmarva Timber Trust beneficiaries. And they literally had me setting up a broker-dealer to work for them. And the only person I would not allow it to is Senior, because it would jeopardize the hundreds of trillions of dollars that he had already stolen and was hidden away. So, yeah, it's very interesting. But, they don't want me talking about this stuff, but I could care less. I'm going to shove it down their throats and up their butts because I had to live this, and they're going to learn how to deal with it.
I like it. David wants to know, Mr. C, will our humanitarian projects have its own access card or funds? I'm told they're going to have their own account if we do a humanitarian. Mr. C, any thoughts?
You would have to on a business basis because you can't commingle funds. You really have to have a separate account for trust activities or money's going into a trust or coming from a trust. So it would be very, very wise of you to have a separate account. And I'm sure they'll make sure that you will have a separate account for this activity.
So Michelle asked a great question. What makes this any different from 2013?
A lot of things. You've got the massive operation between Xi and Putin, and I think this Ukrainian scenario is just perfect. The protocols of the Gold Treaty include, and which you've probably seen from Fulford. Some of this stuff is real. The reunion of the Koreas into one nation, the reinstatement of the original Russia, which I think is fantastic because they need those ports. And you may be Ukrainian, but my great-grandparents thought they were Russian, and they didn't give a damn if they came from Ukraine or wherever. They were Russian. And they didn't speak English, literally, when they came here. In fact, until they died, they did not speak English. So it was very interesting. But there are a lot of different things that are now occurring. The open door on analyzing and observing corruption, financial corruption, political corruption, which is really the basis of my book, which was always hidden underneath a cloud of, well, it's national security, the National Security Act of 1947 as amended. All that stuff hid it because they were allowed to play the rats, and you were not supposed to look at it and see. But when I wrote my thesis, the door was cracked wide open. In fact, I broke the door down. And that's when things started to really roll out. And people started to see that they're being scammed from every which direction there is. So the whole ball game is different than it was in 2013. In 2013, the Golden Dragon was still doing whack-a-mole, which is why they signed the 209 countries to a treaty so they can enforce it and override the United States corporation. And then you had the Moscow Agreement, where Xi and Putin agreed to do anything under the sun to destroy the corporation, which, if you look at my thesis, is the very same thing that Reagan did when he did his NDSSDs. And I mean, it's fantastic to see what they're doing. They're using the game, the weapon against us, which is great.
Oh, they definitely are. This one to me is an easy one to answer, but a lot of people seem confused. Why in the world would they need a trust at any point with a QFS? Because their money's going to be in a secure account. It's not, a trust isn't to protect the money in the account. It's to protect you from frivolous lawsuits and for favorable tax status. Your thoughts on any of that? Do you want to touch any of it or don't touch any of it?
Well, a trust for the projects is almost, it's mandatory, because you've got to segregate your funds and make sure they can account for them. You can't commingle them. But the liability factor is interesting, because when we go from admiralty law to common law, there's going to be a lot of changes about liability, and a trust may not even be a factor at anything at that point for a personal operation or personal business. But if you're talking about large trust projects, you're going to need that. There's no way around it, because you are talking about putting lots and lots and lots of money into a project that has an effect over a lot of people, and some people may get hurt, some people may be financially hurt. You just don't know, and it's a wise thing to set up a trust and to go from there. And if you get into a project that's already established, that trust account's already established. So it'll be a sub account.
This is actually a pretty good one. I don't know necessarily the details, but the gist of it I like, because we've seen so much in the way of civil forfeiture and, hey, you're not using your account, we're just going to take it. This person is saying, hey, I was overseas for a couple of years. Of course, he didn't touch his accounts here because they weren't used. The Fed said because of no action, they just took the money right out and closed the accounts for him. Any thoughts? Are people going to get compensated for this? Any idea? Is that part of the international settlements?
Well, that's a felony fraud. Unless they have the authority to cancel the account, they can't do it without the beneficial owner's signature. That's number one. Number two, that's a RICO event. That's a racketeering influence, and it's a civil lawsuit if you want to go into it. We're also looking at that from a different viewpoint regarding some of the trusts. So it's just plain out fraud by the bank and the Fed, by the way.
So what do you think? Supreme Court starts hearing Biden's mandates on lollipops January 7th. Some are still trying to move forward and coerce people into doing it. How do you think that's going to play out? I know that's outside of your normal whatever, but your thoughts?
Well, when SCOTUS looks at this, they're going to compare it to the mandates by stare decisis, previous law, as well as the Constitution. And considering the fact that I don't think any of the judges really want to put themselves on a spike with the royal court and then say it's justified, because when you look at the Constitution and Bill of Rights, there is a definite segregation of powers, not only to the states, but to the federal government regarding the individual, us. And I have a constitution in Pennsylvania that must adhere to giving me my rights by constitutional authority, and they can't supersede that. And you're talking about a massive dictatorial fraud committed by Biden, which has never been done before. Even in time of war, they've never done this kind of an action. So as far as I'm concerned, let's get the flamethrower and the rope and let's take care of that sucker.
You're so bashful.
I'm angry. I have 32 years of anger.
Mm-hmm.
How dare they do that to this country? Because they robbed them. They robbed us of our legitimacy. They robbed us of our claim to be constitutionally directed republic, and they think they're going to pull the wool over our eyes and force us to do something that is suicidal.
It's just similar to this, them taking bank accounts. They say, I mean, they just tell you they have the right, and then nobody questions them as to whether they do or don't. Nobody pulls it out and says, calls BS on them. So they continue to get away with these. You see these lockdowns and whatever. Well, it's a mandate. It's a law. It's not a law, and a mandate's not a law. So you're like, and you look at them, and it's kind of like that Satan, get behind me, you got no power here kind of thing. They try to convince you, and they play that game, that mental game, that they do have that power when they simply do not have that power. Just very few people come out because it's such a pain in the butt, and it's so costly to hold them accountable.
The Supreme Court's going to call them out because they're going to say, where is your authority? Show us. And that's where it's going to be, oh my God, the emperor has no clothes.
Oh, it's definitely an emperor has no clothes moment. That is for certain. Monty asked a question: if I engage a family member to help me execute my humanitarian project, can I pay them a reasonable salary from the project's money? I can answer that one. Absolutely can. How about you, Mr. C?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And matter of fact, Monty, that is how I am hopeful, because there are many in this community that have tremendous ideas but could not afford to pick up currency. I am very hopeful that as we move forward with humanitarian projects, you guys will hire a lot of them so that they can have a much improved quality of life and still get to help.
In fact, you can do that on any project that you do.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be post-RV. It could be today. If you had a lot of money, you could go ahead and put people like that to work. Let's see. How about when the market fell in 2008? Is that money? No, I don't think there's any way they can refund it. In other words, people that lost when that bubble popped, it's...
No. That's a normal course of business.
Yeah, that unfortunately, I agree with you on that one. Let's see. I'm trying to find some other... This year, you're Santa Claus. They're calling on you to put the codes in tomorrow, okay?
I'd love to. I really would.
Amen. Irish Mermaid says, I love the salty Mr. C.
Well, I'm trying to be nice, but it's hard.
WUDANFU. I like this one. Said, when Constantine changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday, he claimed the authority to do so by the fact that everyone obeyed. That's exactly it. People just obey, and that's where their authority comes from. They really don't have any, but everybody just capitulates and does it.
Well, Constantine was also an emperor, and they had no constitution. That's a major difference.
Diamond for you. White House in panic mode after new data reveals Biden has been abandoned by young voters. He's been abandoned by young voters. He's been abandoned by well over half of the minority vote that put him there. His numbers are down in the low 30s now. I just Rasmussen did one this week, and if I talk about it, I'm going to be kind of talking around this one. The percentage of Democrats that now believe what occurred in November was fraudulent and inaccurate is now in the 40s percentage-wise. Somewhere I've got that. I'll have to search and try to find the exact figures, but it's 40-some% of Democrats doesn't believe that was legitimate and fair, that F word was used. Yeah, really, because this is what got us in trouble October 8th. So, I mean, to me, that is some fascinating figures. And I actually believe that is what got me in trouble on October 8th. I think it was me talking about one of those polls and actually showing the poll.
Mm-hmm.
They took it down, so I can't find out.
Well, scared rabbits will do anything.
Right. Zamoko wants to point out the Clinton Foundation pays themselves a very reasonable salary.
Oh, yeah. Reasonable is a subjective term, by the way. It could be a couple $1 million for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just got to say, hey, reasonable salary. There's nobody saying, well, what's reasonable?
Nope.
Let's see. Austin says, I do believe there will be a new thing where they cast those papers picking who they want, because I'm afraid to say that E word. And then Mr. T will not come back except as a figurehead. The military will be in charge. I agree with you. I don't think he's coming back. He's too powerful as a kingmaker.
That will be interesting because I don't know. That's a coin toss for me. I think the best guy to go in there right now would be DeSantis, but I don't think he's going to give up his governorship for that.
He's very clearly. I mean, he's looking at another run as guy. He does not appear to me to be positioning himself for anything more than another run at governor. I could be wrong. We'll see how this one plays out. But Blue QI wants to know: do you invest in gold and silver? Do you like gold and silver? Is it just thoughts?
Frankly, I have not. I've stepped away from investing in anything for a long time because of the fraudulent nature of the marketplace. I just have no faith in it anymore as far as a substantive way to put money to work. I just don't do
it. See, 3C's is saying, nope, DeSantis is staying in Florida. This one is going to be an interesting one. Monet Faulkner wants to know, so any idea how far they'll go back for back taxes to send them back to you? I would assume for the entirety of your life on federal taxes. Mr. C, any thoughts?
That was the impression I got from the polls, that from the very beginning, which was a fraudulent operation at the beginning because they established a corporation in Puerto Rico. All of that money contributed to that situation will be refunded to you. So it's going to be massive.
Yeah, no, it is going to be massive. And that alone is going to keep a lot of employment from happening. I'm hoping farmers and truck drivers and all continue to do the right thing, even if they are flush in cash, because the world can be really screwed with grandma not getting insulin or heart medicine, or grandpa, or it's a scary thought. Leisha Foss says, Trump will be back. Mark my words. Leisha, I'm curious. Just from the crew in here, sound off in the chat. Do you think he's coming back? Do you not think he's coming back? I'm just curious to get you all's yin's opinions, as we say where Mr. C and I are from.
Pittsburgh. Unreal. Okay.
All right, Yin, sound off while we're talking. I just want to be able to read some of the comments. Jericho, and I have seen some back and forth, and I question this one too. A number of folks talking about DeSantis maybe actually just playing the game and maybe a little more corrupt than they think because of some of the executive orders leave him great powers with bug-related things. I'm afraid to say too much and get myself in trouble.
Well, the problem with that is he's in a very deep blue state. I mean, that was always a Democratic crime claim, basically, in the whole state of Florida. And so I look at him as saying, okay, he's the St. George slaying the dragon, and I got a sharp sword, and I'm going to cut everywhere I can, and I'm going to open up the doors and let the sunlight in. And that's what's going on here. Do I think he's dictatorial? No way. He's fighting the rats. He knows they're rats. He's seen the proof of the rats' ability and the rat capability. And I think he's fighting for all of us. And I think he is the light in the darkest of the dark room to show us that, yes, we can fight these SOBs, and we can get rid of them, and we can destroy this dictatorial thought that they want to make this country a dictatorship of the elite. And more power to him as far as I'm concerned, because there's always checks and balances. Always.
If you read his background and what he's been through and what he's done, while not being official special forces, he had to do the training. He trained as special forces so he could be inserted with them as a JAG. So he went through the same special forces SEAL training that the SEALs went through. But with SEALs, Rangers, I forget which one, but he went through the same training. He had to pass the same training that they did. If you read his career, I mean, it's really something else. Of course, that's kind of scary too, right? But remember, there are good men willing to do bad things so that we can sleep safe at night. They're willing to haunt themselves, to have PTSD. They're willing to do tough and necessary things that aren't pretty so that we can sleep and rest easy at night. And, he's seen a lot of that firsthand. So I don't know. I tend to think he's a good guy. I don't know. Time's going to tell us, but I just need to believe somebody out there is still good. And maybe that's just my, naivety.
Well, he's the only one of all the governors thus far that has the courage and the guts to stand up there and say no to these rats and do it in a defiant way. And I think it's fantastic.
Abbott on off, guys. I mean, I know you in Texas. I don't know if you love him or not, but he is so back and forth in my book. 1 minute he looks like he's got balls, the next minute it looks like he is walking in velvet slippers. You know, I can't really get a beat on him. He seems to blow whichever way the political wind blows at the moment. So I'm not overly impressed with Abbott personally from the outside. Of course, I don't live in Texas.
Well, remember, Texas was always a Democratic state. I mean, a real deep blue Democratic state. Johnson won an overwhelming majority when he beat Fudge. I'm losing it now. Oh, goodness. He had a landslide victory. Before, what was it, 68, before he got out of the business. And you know, that was always a pure Democratic area. It was only recently that it became conservative red because they were getting downtrodden on everything. But the Great Society and all that stuff came out of Texas.
Yeah, this is true. All right, let's touch on this one because I had a lot of questions over the week. How quickly do you think foreclosures will stop as soon as this occurs? In other words, are they going to stop all action immediately? NASERA kicks in?
Yes, because again, the law will change from admiralty law to common law, and all of that will be subject to review. And remember, when the derivatives are taken off the books, a debt jubilee takes place. That debt jubilee also affects foreclosures. You have no debt, there's no repayment, period, end of story. It's all over. You got a house, you keep a house.
Yeah, a lot of folks are saying, and I don't know how this is going to work because, yes, a lot of the foreclosures, the overwhelming majority of them, in my opinion, were fraudulent, but I don't know what kind of mechanism can be there to pay folks back. I mean, there's other people that purchased and paid for properties and stuff. I honestly don't know what to tell you on that one, guys.
I don't either, but I do know there'll be some compensation for that in some way.
Medical hypnosis training caught the velvet slipper. Yeah, I said it. Don't get me wrong. I just can't figure him out. He's like that bipolar friend that you never know is going to be up or down when I read anything from Abbott. He seems to be, as the political winds have changed, he seems to be getting more and more conservative because it is politically expedient for him to be. When he was uncertain, 1 year ago or 6 months ago, he was waffling. So to me, his backbone grows with public support. And yeah, that's one thing I loved about Reagan. Reagan never gave a rat's butt about what the public opinion was on something. The tail did not wag the dog wagged the tail. He did what he thought was right, and they either followed or they didn't follow. He really, I mean, he was an exception in modern politics. Of course, it's not really modern politics. That's 4 decades ago. Jesus, what happened, Mr. C? When did it happen?
Senior.
No,
Senior's when it happened.
He hijacked it.
Yes, he did. With he hijacked the system when they had the subcommittee in '86 and changed the rules on fraud and fraud investigation and fraud convictions. He changed the 33 Act to 34 Act. He changed in 1970. I mean, all the different checks and balances he unhooked, and then he took out his adversaries by extortion, whatever else, murder, etc. And he dealt with Reagan by surrounding him with people who only took orders basically from Senior. So and then Senior would say, "I was not in the loop." Well, he was one share back, but he was certainly in the loop because he was the loop.
He was the loop.
I'm finding it amazing in my research, as you'll see in the book, that we go from one problem to another problem to another problem, and I find it interesting. In 2002, for example, I was requested to submit documentation to Deutsche Bank for a project to qualify for a platform contract. And I sent it over. I sent over my Homes to the Homeless project. And the board of directors of Deutsche Bank, this is Frankfurt and Maine, went berserk because they could not believe that I was, I don't know, that adventurous or whatever. I don't know what they called it. But it was interesting because they said, hands down, this is the best thing we've ever seen. And they did a check on me. And they said I had the highest level of approval on the checks that they had in a long time. And the attorney, Jim Kirk, had said that this is very rare. Hardly anybody out of nowhere comes up and gets a very, very high level approval for a platform trading program. And obviously I got it, but then they stole it. It was a $5 trillion with rolls and extensions. So they made at least $5 trillion on that deal, but they stole it right out of the gate, and it was Senior behind the gate that did it. So very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah, you got to remember, Senior was also the first president to allow money from Social Security to get moved to the general fund when there was a surplus. So the tapping of your retirement, he's the one that okayed it. During Bush Senior, only 6% of the money spent federally for education made it to a classroom. I mean, I could go on and on and on with the grift in that administration. It is
that's
overwhelming.
Where CRT started. I'm sorry, Mark. That's where CRT started, to dumb down the education level of the U.S. The population so that they could actually succeed in this takeover to a dictatorship. That was the whole process.
And yeah, it's, you go on and on. Nobody left behind. That kind of, it's okay. We could go on forever and ever and ever. I like this one though, Anonymous. If my identity was stolen and illegal aliens been paying taxes in my name, will I get those too? I was like, I think you're actually going to get lucky and get those taxes. I do. And personally, I think that's poetic.
I agree. That's fantastic.
Oh God, Teresa, I like this one. For those of us that are older and remember this, Calgon, take my taxes away. Take me away, Calgon. Okay, I just noticed the time, Mr. C. Anything else you want to touch on? Any questions you've seen before we start wrapping up for this Christmas Eve?
Not really. I mean, everybody's got the same concerns. Is this real? Is it going to happen? And I don't have an answer for that. I sure hope like it does. I'm tired of this game, and I really want to see some consequences being played out and payback. But, we go with the flow. We see what happens. If they are real, then next week we're going to see some real fireworks. If not, then we wait a little bit more. But in the meantime, I'm wishing everybody a Merry Christmas as much as they can, given the circumstances that we're in. And, if it happens, great. If not, I shall see you next Friday, I guess.
Sounds like a plan, Mr. C. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care.
All right, guys, the illustrious Mr. Cottrell. That was a really good one. I don't know about you all, but I very much enjoyed today's stream. That is a great one. Are people's degrees useless if they've been teaching us lies? And to me, yeah, they're pretty useless. I look at probably 3/4 of the college degrees out there, and the overwhelming majority, in my personal opinion, are absolutely and utterly useless, especially some of the finance ones, as those things are going to change drastically. A lot of the law degrees are going to be useless as we move to proper common law. It's going to be an interesting world. All right. Over the holiday weekend, guys, keep kind of fluid on schedule. If I get free time, don't panic. I will put up a golden egg picture. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one with the stream description. I am looking now so I can show you guys what to expect on that front. If you just see me pop in with something other than that, that just means I have some free time, and I know that a lot of folks are alone over the holidays. So if I can squeeze in any extra time, I want to be there for you guys to spend some of that time with you all. Yeah, let me pull this up. I want to make certain I show you this, guys. So unless you see that in the description of the little thumbnail for the stream, Don't panic if you see me do a stream over the weekend or whatever. That is just to get an opportunity to spend some time for the community, because a lot of you folks are either alienated from family or don't have any family left. So I'm going to do my best. I'm not giving you 100%, but I'm going to do my best. So I just wanted to share that with you. I just don't want anybody getting too excited when they see it, unless it has something like that in the picture. Other than that, birthdays. We do have some. We got some today and some tomorrow, right? Pickles, Merry Christmas. And thank you guys. So many have been kind. Some donations that we help. Kukla, I don't know if you're here. I don't even know. It's been going so quickly. I think we're up to 25 from the fundraiser that have been blessed. Another 1 or 2 today that are in the queue. It's just been fantastic, and you guys have been just amazing. All right, let's do this one. Merry Christmas all. Soul, I appreciate that one. Marika, I am told that the Zim will be worth 30 million per 100 T-note without a project. Same thing is going to be worth with the project. The difference is if you have a project, you'll get an additional amount for only the project. That is what I have been told, Marika. There you go. God won. Nothing else matters. I've read the last chapter. I know how it ends. Might be a little fuzzy on some of the details in between, but we got this one. Reverse mortgages, I am told, go away, meaning they will just have the title back to their house and as if no money had been paid out on it. That's what I have. That's my understanding of reverse mortgages, and it makes sense. Leaked sources. Yeah, they can definitely get off mine. I'm with you. All right. For those celebrating a birthday. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love. Make all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. Enjoy it today, tomorrow, better yet. And I know it may not actually be the birth of Christ on tomorrow. We may have the day wrong, but it is the spirit of the celebration that he gave his only begotten son for our sins, that we may know eternal life. That is big. That is huge. All right, time to get crack-a-lackin'. I get lunch with the kids today. I am so very excited. I will have all of my offspring for lunch in just 30 or 45 minutes. So I'm getting out of here, guys. See ya soon.